Moto! I'm back. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, this is my reaction rant to, what was it called? Oh, Arrow! There you go! Arrow Season 4, Episode 19, titled Canary Cry. How many? April 6, April 27. We got at least like 2.5 weeks of, hiatus between episodes 18 and 19, mainly because, yeah, 18 was the biggest heartbreaker of all time with the death of Black Canary herself, Dinah Laurel Lance. I'm gonna say her whole name, guys, because I know a lot of people, she goes by Laurel, but her whole name is Dinah Laurel Lance, just so you guys know. But anyway, yeah, 18, oh my god. The death of Laurel. It has been confirmed. The person that we saw in the grave in the beginning of this season. I even have a video about it. I think I might put that in the description if I find my link. But anyway, I know for a fact I do have a theory video about who was in the grave after we saw in the beginning of this season. In the beginning of the season, we saw Oliver standing in front of a grave and Barry showed up. Obviously, we all assumed it was someone from Team Arrow that died, but no one knew who it was, and there was this whole theories out there about who was in the grave. I myself thought it might have been either Thea or Felicity over time, especially considering, after we saw in the beginning of this season, we saw the funeral, we saw him standing in front of the grave, everyone's like, who's in the grave? And during the whole season, we had Felicity getting, apparently, Oliver and Felicity getting shot up in their limo. Felicity ended up being paralyzed instead of dying, but still, I still had her as top 3 of someone died, the one in the grave. I thought it might have been Thea because of her blood loss, and there was a lot of times where I actually thought it was, like the episode that introduced the calculator and brought back Roy Harper. I thought that might have been the end of Thea. But it turned out the person in the grave was Laurel. In all honesty, my top 2 people when I thought was in the grave was either going to be Felicity or Thea. My third place one was between Laurel and Diggle. I wasn't sure. But my top 2 by far was either Felicity or Thea. Man. Going on with episode 19, Canary Cry. Obviously, For the longest time, they did not show the title of episode 19, mainly because, obviously, they didn't want to spoil the fact that, Laurel's the one that died. So, episode 19's title was, MIA for the longest time. I wrote down all the titles of the episodes, and I noticed that episode 19's title was just blank. And I was like, why is that, right? So obviously in my opinion, something happened in episode 18 that made episode 19's title blank up until, 18 aired. So yeah, Canary Cry, the team's mourning Laurel's death and at the same time trying to determine their next move against Damien Dark. While they're doing that, apparently there's a sighting of the Black Canary stopping an illegal weapons exchange. And people are like, oh my god, could this be Laurel? And, during that whole thing, God, Detective Lance, I can't even imagine what he's going through. I mean, how many times did Detective Lance have to go through this when it came to Sarah Lance? I mean, they all thought Sarah died on the Queen's Gambit when it, sank along with Oliver. And then Sarah comes back as the Canary. Only again to find out that she dies again because, brainwashed Thea shot arrows at her, courtesy of Malcolm Merlin. So for Oliver, in a way, he lost Sarah 3 times. Oliver thought he lost Sarah when the Queen's Gambit sank, right? Again, he thought he lost, and then he got reunited with Sarah, and thought he lost her again when the both of them were on Lian Yu, and I think that submarine ship thing, he thought he lost her there too. And then, of course, with the whole Malcolm Merlyn brainwashing Thea into shooting arrows into Sarah, he thought he lost Sarah again a third time. For freaking Detective Lance and his and the mother, Dinah, oh my god. For them it's just 2 times, but they know now that Sarah is still alive. They went through losing Sarah twice. Both Lance's parents. I can't even. I might be actually ranting this whole time in this video just because of this. But like I have a feeling there's gonna be a part 2 of this video because I am ranting right now because I can't even imagine what both of the parents are feeling because they lost Sarah twice. And they never assumed that Laurel was going to die. Even like freaking Detective Lance was so supportive of Laurel being the Black Canary. It never occurred to him that she might suffer a similar fate to her sister in the past time she died. So it's like, I swear to gosh, in TV history, there are not many stuff on TV not many shows / episodes that have ever made me cry. Like one thing so far this is the 3rd thing that's ever made me cry. The first one being the show The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. There's that one episode where, Will gets reunited with his father. Yeah, that episode toward the end where, if you haven't seen the episode, I don't know why you would never see the episode. It's an old show. But, the dad pretty much abandons him again, and he has this conversation. He starts ranting in front of Uncle Phil, and that was just heartfelt because that was actually improv. Because, the actor Will Smith actually improv the entire thing and used his own real-life experience, and that just made it even more heartbreaking. And the second time I've ever seriously bawled out tears was with The Walking Dead, with Beth Green getting shot. Her getting shot and seeing all them and seeing Daryl and them break down in the hospital crying, and then seeing Maggie, looking at Maggie's reaction, having Daryl carry Beth's limp body out of the hospital, and seeing her reaction, and seeing Daryl cry again. As well as, Daryl crying again when he's by himself after the whole incident, like burning the cigarette on himself. That made me cry. This is the 3rd thing that's ever made me cry. I bursted out tears when, after Damien shoved that arrow in Laurel, and she's all was like, I got you, you're gonna be okay. I was crying when I was like, please tell me she didn't die. I was crying in happiness when the doctor said she's fine. And I cried when Laurel had her speech in front of Diggle, Felicity, Thea, and Oliver. And I cried even more when she admitted to Oliver, I may not be the love of your life, but you're the love of mine. Oh my god, I bursted out in tears. Because it sounded like she was saying goodbye. And it didn't even help at all when, she went into, shock. And then she ended up being pronounced dead at 11:59. But what broke my heart and made me sob the most has got to be when Oliver came out of her room. He was in shock. He was crying a little. He was more shocked than bursting out in tears. But what broke my heart was when Detective Lance showed up right then and there after she was pronounced dead. She got pronounced dead, 11:59. Oliver came out of the room out of shock, and then comes Detective Lance. The fact that he came right after she was determined dead and looking straight at Oliver's face and seeing him in shock and crashing down on the floor like that, I literally cried so hard, and I'm crying right now because it was the most heartbreaking shit I've ever... Oh my god. Hang on. I gotta give a shout out to Paul. Oh my god, hang on. Oh my god, I'm getting messages, hang on. I have to give a shout out to Paul Blackthorne, who, that breakdown when he arrived at the hospital literally broke my heart so bad. I have never cried in movies or in TV shows. Like I said, I only cried on 2 different shows, which was The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with the abandonment of Will's father again, and Beth Green getting shot in The Walking Dead. But I've got to say, the moment Detective Lance showed up and saw Oliver outside the hall, and he broke down, no, I'm not even kidding you. The moment Detective Lance showed up after she was determined dead, that already broke my heart. Seeing his reaction, that was just, I couldn't stop crying. I was crying for like 5 hours straight after the episode. After the episode ended, I was crying for 5 hours straight. I was like, amazing. Paul Blackthorne, you are freaking gold. Oh my god. That was just so heartbreaking. I gotta give it to Katie. Hang on. Hang on for a sec, guys. I gotta give a shout out to the amazing Katie Cassidy, who was the most perfect Dinah Laurel Lance, aka the Black Canary. The speech you made to Oliver, that killed me so bad. I know we're gonna see you again on The Flash as your Earth 2 counterpart, but I'm still brokenhearted that you're gone as the Black Canary on Arrow. Paul Blackthorne, you are acting God, because you didn't even have to say anything as Detective Lance. You as Detective Lance, all you had to do was enter the damn hospital hallway and then fall to the ground to actually literally make me cry so bad. It was just, I know this was supposed to be my reaction rant to Arrow Season 4, Episode 19, Canary Cry, but this video is going to end up being a shout out to 2 amazing actors, Katie Cassidy and Paul Blackthorne, and dedicated to episodes 18 and 19 of Season 4 of Arrow, 11:59 and Canary Cry, for making me bawl out tears for 5 plus hours straight. Because, oh my god, I can't even. No. But anyway, kudos to Katie and Paul, especially you, Paul. You're one of the only few people that managed to make me cry more than 5 hours straight, and you didn't even have to say anything. You just had to come into a room and then fall down on the floor to make me cry. Oh my god. Anyway, I'll probably do my reaction right after this. Yeah, this is, R.I.P. Dinah Laurel Lance. R.I.P. to the Black Canary. And I feel so sorry for you right now, Detective Lance. You have no idea. But anyway, my reaction for Canary Cry will be in the next video. Bye.